Hello folks, and welcome to a special edition of Tech News, this time on the Samsung Unpacked event day, which actually just ended. So let's go ahead and jump right into what you are here for. First things first, the pre-order links that you all have been waiting for are ready for you. I have them in the description so that you can go ahead and pre-order your device. So go ahead and make sure to pre-order today because you do not want the delivery date to be pushed back, and you know that always happens. Let's go ahead and get back to this morning Unpacked event. Samsung is finally back and coming out swinging this time around with some pretty awesome deals on the new generation devices. And all I gotta say is, man, it was about time. And you may remember this. I was pretty upset about the trade-ins that Samsung had during the last event, but it looks like they went ahead and fixed that. Now let's talk seriously here. In terms of drop, obviously the extremely well-anticipated Samsung Galaxy Tab S9 series was presented today, and just like I covered in the past, it includes the regular Galaxy Tab S9, which by the way has been heavily upgraded. The Samsung Galaxy Tab S9 Plus is also included. That also saw a great level of upgrades as well. And finally, of course, the Galaxy Tab S9 Ultra loaded with its own upgrades. Now, there's no doubt that these are all powerhouses, right? Because they're all boasting Qualcomm's flagship chipset, the Snapdragon Gen 2 for Galaxy, right? So this is going to make these devices a lot more intuitive because it is pretty much tailored for the device itself. Then you have the OLED displays on all three of them, a new Samsung S Pen, and this one is called the Creator Edition. Then you have the dust and water resistant and so much more. Now, why don't we go ahead and take a look at the pricing breakdown here before we move on to the other devices that dropped this morning here. So from the get-go, assuming of course you go ahead and pre-order using the links there so that you can take advantage of the discounts using the links, of course, that are located in the description like I mentioned already. So you get your storage doubled if you were to go ahead and pre-order today. So you essentially pay a discounted price for double the storage at the price of the base model, meaning your Galaxy Tab S9 128 gigs will be upgraded to 256 gigs of internal storage, or your Tab S9 Plus base of 256 gigs will be pushed up to 512, and the same will apply to the Samsung Galaxy Tab S9 Ultra, right? Then of course, if you had reserved, like I had been encouraging a lot of you guys to go ahead and reserve so you can start saving money, early on, then you could take advantage of that $50 off. And on top of that, like I mentioned, Samsung brought back these fantastic trade-ins value around, so you will be able to trade in your devices and get up to $650 of your Samsung Galaxy Tab S9 device, or whichever Tab S9 model you're going for. And on top of that, again, you will be taking advantage of a 50% off the official Samsung keyboard book cover slim for the Samsung Galaxy tablet that you are ordering. And another ad here, you will get an additional $40 off the Galaxy Buds 2 Pro if you decide to order one. And on top of that, and this is the last one, by the way, this was not announced during the event, but you are likely going to be able to take advantage of discounted price off of previous select devices that Samsung have. Typically, if you're bundling up, right, so you're buying the Tab S9, for example, and you want to buy something from the previous iteration or some of the existing, Samsung products, you are likely going to get discounted prices on that stuff also. So don't forget about that. Meaning you can pull these deals in so many directions, but all I can say is that make that decision today, right now, because of course as time goes by, people will continue to order and delivery dates will be pushed back, as I mentioned at the beginning of this video. So I'd rather you go ahead and pre-order than return it later than just miss out completely on deals or have your delivery date be pushed back, I don't know, a month or however long. Now, in terms of prices, specifically the Samsung Galaxy Tab S9, or the regular one, the regular Tab S9 will run you $799 for the base model. The Samsung Galaxy Tab S9 Plus will run you $999 for the base 256 gigs. Remember, the Tab S9 starts at 128 gigs for the base and 256 gigs for the base Tab S9 Plus. Then we have $1199 for the Tab S9 Ultra base 256 gigs. And if you've been following the channel for a while, then you probably already knew what was happening with the price. Then also, the Tab S9 Plus has the cellular 5G version available as well if you want to go for that particular model. Now let's go ahead and quickly move on. And before we move on to the Samsung Galaxy Watch 6 series, I want to tackle the foldables, right? So the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 5 has seen, it's seen such a drastic change, especially as it pertains to that front display. It's now a relatively large display, on the front there when compared to what we had on the Z Flip 4. And I've already shared that with you guys, right? So you saw the leaked images, so you were already familiar with what Samsung had in store for the Z Flip 5. Now, no price increase here, which is good news. So $999, better trade-ins, right? You have these very nice trade-in values. Again, as I mentioned already, you can go up to $899 trade-in credits towards this phone. The storage here is going to start at 256 gigs. Of course, you will get that double for free if you were to go ahead and order. Again, with the links below, there is quite a few colors available on here, so you get to play with that and choose your colors. The Z Fold 5, on the other hand, has seen subtle changes, subtle physical changes on the outside, but significant changes on the inside. And also Samsung has expanded the fold colors, right? So we have a bit more, well, I guess when it comes down to variant or colors, I guess to keep it simple, you get a bit more colors. With this one, we have the normal phantom black, you have the cream or the beige. I typically call that one the beige. Then you have an icy blue, which is pretty cool. And then there's another blue, which is a Samsung exclusive blue. Then there's a gray variant, also a Samsung exclusive. And the good thing here as well is that no price increase here on the Fold, right? So it will remain at $1,799 or $1,800 for it. Pretty much the same price we saw on the Z Fold 5. And the good old top level trade-in applies here as well, because you can go up to $1,000 trade-in credits, along with other deals, including, doubling the storage for the price of the base model here. So again, pretty good stuff here. Now let's go ahead and talk Samsung Galaxy Watch 6 series. And of course, the star of this particular segment of the presentation, at least in my humble opinion, was the return of the Classic, right? So Samsung indeed reintroduced the physical rotating bezel on the 6th iteration of its watch, right? Just like what we had seen before with the Classic 4. So this is called the Galaxy Watch 6 Classic. It comes in 47 and 44 millimeters and will run at $429 and $399 respectively. Now the top level trade credits applies here as well, so you can take advantage of all of that, again, just like with the other devices. Now I don't want to overload you with all of this information. A ton has dropped this morning during the event, and I don't want to go ahead and just lay every single detail on you. The key for now is just for you to go ahead and follow the link in the description so that you can go ahead and pre-order without missing a beat. So I will follow with a more comprehensive video on this, right? So we can really drill down, to the details. So let's go ahead and end this edition of Tech News. I will have more, on the next episode, of course, meaning I will stay updated so that you are updated. And up until that next episode, of course, as always, stay safe out there.